Welcome to Q&A Thursday, where you guys ask me questions about assistants and I do my best to answer them. This week's question comes from Linda, and she asks, how many clients should I take on when I'm ready to go full time? This is an excellent question, and I have some personal experience to share with you. My suggestion is that you start with the minimum you need to be paying your bills, to make sure that your expenses, your needs, your personal needs are met. So if you know that you need at least $2,000 a month to get started, work your way up to that bare minimum bar. So that could be that you sign one big client at $2,000 a month. It could be that you sign 2 clients at $1,000 a month each. It could be that you're signing 4 clients for $500 a piece for a couple hours of work. Whatever it is, make sure you're factoring that first. Once your expenses are met, then you can always scale up. But it really truly does come down to, I think, survivability. Because you can't run a successful virtual assistant business if you're kind of unsure about clients and you take one client on. Let's say you take one client on who pays you $400 a month. That's not a survivable income. And yes, it is good to always start with fewer clients to make sure that you're not overwhelming yourself, to make sure that you've understood the workflow, what your workday looks like. So less is more, but you have to keep your income needs in mind when thinking about this question. Now, I promised you a personal story, and I'm going to tell you a personal story about how I messed this up. When I first started, I was scared that I wasn't going to find any clients. So what happened was I found my first client through an in-person connection. And I turned that first person into 3 through word of mouth and referrals. And then within the first, I'd say 6 months, I turned those 3 people into 18 people. That was a mistake. I was so overwhelmed and burned out. I couldn't keep up. It was like having 18 full-time bosses. I could not keep up with the work. I was miserable. I was burned out. And I was thinking that I made a mistake opening my own virtual assistant business. It turns out I just hadn't really figured out how many people I could sustainably sign on. And I was way too scared that I wasn't going to make this a viable business. So I just started saying yes to everybody and anybody. It sucked. It was horrible. I had a lot of bad clients who were ill-fitting for me, and I was probably a bad fit for them. Personality-wise, it did not go well. So I do want to caution you against simply building a business quickly. So what I don't want you to do tomorrow is sign on 10 new clients. But I want you to think about this reasonably. So if you're able to sign on a handful or less, 2, 3, 4 clients or less when you're getting started, that's ideal, because I think that'll give you a good sense of their workflow, your workflow. You'll get a better sense for, do you work better in the mornings or the evenings, or what time do you like to take phone calls with clients, or how do you factor in lunch breaks or a walk around the block? Having few clients that meet your financial needs is definitely the best way to start. And remember this, it's always easier to scale up than it is to drop clients. So if you're starting with 2 solid clients a month and you get a good feel for their workflow and you're like, you know what, I've got this, I've got extra hours in my day, I could totally take on another client, scale up when you're ready. So thank you, Linda, for submitting this week's Q&A Thursday video. If you guys have any questions for me, leave me a comment below and I will do my best to get to it in a timely manner. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on next week's video.